I'm John Maihos for the Kiwanis Club of Beverly, and people ask, what is Kiwanis? Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. This is another edition of Kiwanis Conversations. I'm pleased to be with you here today, and I'm more pleased to have with me one of the community representatives from one of the great nonprofits in Beverly. In fact, one of the leading nonprofits in Beverly, one of the award-winning nonprofits in Beverly. That's Beverly Bootstraps, and my guest today is Heather Johnston. Heather, thanks very much for being with me today on Kiwanis Conversations.
Did I do good? You did good. Okay. I love the award-winning leading nonprofit.
Like that? It's all true, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, I've seen this. You've gotten an award through the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce. I've seen that. And, of course, you're so well known. You and the rest of the team, led by Sue Gabriel, are doing a fantastic job in the city. And that's so refreshing to see such a vibrant nonprofit growing and building. And that's what we're going to talk about today, isn't it?
It is, and it's all thanks to the community support. You know, we were started by the community over 22 years ago, funded by the community, and still remain that way today. So if it wasn't for Kiwanis and others in the community and organizations, we wouldn't be here today.
And there are so many great community organizations in Beverly, too. I even think Rotary is very involved, Lions is very involved, and all the great, the Elks, I'm sure, are very involved. We have so many great community organizations here in Beverly. We're lucky.
We are. We're very fortunate. And, you know, as sad as it is to think, our residents are fortunate enough that Beverly Bootstraps is here, that this is a resource. It's unfortunate to think that so many of our Beverly and Manchester residents do need our services, but they're also fortunate that we are here to help them. Not many other communities have something like Beverly Bootstraps.
I know. Well, before we talk more about Bootstraps, let's talk a little bit about you. So what do you do at Beverly Bootstraps?
So I am the Director of Donor Relations.
Director of Donor Relations. That means you're the one who always is asking for money.
People see me and they come say, oh, here she comes again.
Exactly.
Yes, but I get to do fun things like this, work with community groups like yourself, like Kiwanis and Rotary and some of our local companies, and really bring the community together, whether it's through making a donation to Beverly Bootstraps, whether it's through volunteering, or our marketing and our brand awareness and making people aware of what we do and how they can help and be a part of it.
I bet a lot of it in the communication is making people aware that there are issues for people in Beverly, and there are issues for Beverly as a community.
Yeah, it has definitely been something we've been working hard on in the past 4 to 5 years, especially to have people be aware that we're more than a food pantry. We were certainly started as a food pantry, but we have grown to be so much more than a food pantry. And the food pantry is actually one of the food assistance programs. So there's many food assistance programs, there's adult education programs, there's youth and family programs, our client support, and of course our thrift shop on Rantoul Street. So there are many different ways, and like you said, it's that awareness of how can someone use us as a client, what services are available, and how can someone as a donor or a volunteer put their services to use.
So let's say somebody has just moved into Beverly. They're driving into Beverly for the first time. They see entering Beverly, and they have some particular need, and they try to seek out Beverly Bootstraps. First of all, what type of need might they have? And secondly, how would they contact you?
So if someone has just moved into Beverly, depends on what demographic they may be in. Take a family, for instance. If we have a family who moves into town, they might have some children in the school system. They might not know about us themselves, but their school nurse certainly does. We work with all the school nurses, Emily Rockwell at the schools, many different avenues that we have where the schools can be a resource in referring them. So they might pick up sooner that there's a need in the family, that the children may not have back-to-school supplies. They may see them not bringing in lunch and they need food. So they can certainly make those referrals and say, well, you know what, there's an organization, Beverly Bootstraps, talk to the parents. Certainly some of the academics we may be able to help with through the after-school programs. If it's a senior who's moved into the community, it might be through the senior center. It might be someone at the senior center who says, hey, there's an organization that is right down the street. You can go, you can meet with a case manager, you can find out how they can help. It might be someone that lives at one of the sites where we do a mobile market. And maybe they've never heard about us, but they see the mobile market come out.
So mobile market, what are we going to have on the mobile market?
Free, fresh produce and vegetables.
Can I give you my address? I mean, this is really cool. I'm telling you, really, they're going to deliver?
They will come to different sites in Beverly, 6 different sites. Tuesdays and Thursdays from June to October, and they're all low-income housing sites. Right. And they come, and there's a big theory behind coming out to someone's networks, to someone's neighborhood, a comfort zone where they are. And we bring the free, fresh produce. We set it up, pop up the tents. The volunteers are there. They distribute the produce.
You pop up tents? This sounds like fun. It's like a block party.
And it oftentimes becomes something like that.
And it probably builds community within the neighborhood as well.
Exactly. They get to come. They get to work together. They get to meet in line. Maybe they're meeting people that they haven't met in the complex before. And they also get to hear a little bit about us, get the fresh produce, and then they also can find out about other programs that we might have that might be beneficial to them.
Sure.
So, there's all sorts of different ways. We do work with our volunteers a lot to hopefully be ambassadors in the community. If they see a neighbor in need, a colleague in need, someone that just might need a little bit of extra help, we're hopeful that they'll also refer them to us.
Doing a lot of great work.
Thank you. We're a little tired sometimes.
I can imagine. You don't look tired at all. For anybody just watching, just tuning in, you're watching another edition of Kiwanis Conversations, and my guest today is Heather Johnston, and she's the Director of Donor Relations, or something like that. She asks for money from Beverly Bootstraps, but she seems to know an awful lot about the organization. So how long have you been there?
I've been there 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
And you're so natural, though. You must have some background that just is conducive to this type of a job, or even this show, because you're really good.
I've been doing fundraising for quite some time, so different avenues in healthcare.
Have I seen you on the Channel 2 auction? Wait a minute.
Not yet. I haven't done that yet. Who knows? Maybe that's next.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But it's a great organization to get involved in. Great way to volunteer and get to know people and help out and give back. And certainly there's always different programs happening at different times of the year. For instance, right now we're about to enter the holiday season. Seems like we just finished summer and here we are going into the holiday season. For those that don't know, we have a Thanksgiving distribution program. So for the Thanksgiving holiday, we distribute to all of our families coming through the food pantry a turkey and a bag of holiday fixings.
Oh, wow.
So we do host numerous food drives over the months of October and November. The community is a great help in doing those food drives. The Election Day food drive is always a big help for that, where voters in Beverly can bring a holiday food item and drop it right in the bins at any of the voting sites in Beverly.
So if I want to bring a can of food, a food item, a non-perishable, I can bring it when I go to vote.
Yes.
Coming up in November, and it will go to people
Beverly
in need
Bootstraps.
in the community through Beverly Bootstraps.
Yes.
What a great
It's a combination. We're very lucky with our citywide PTO. They're very active, involved in that, and partnering with us and coordinating that at every polling site. So that's a great way for people to get involved. We last year gave out over 500 turkeys in Thanksgiving meals.
Are those the kind with the little pop-up thing? You just put them in the oven and you just wait for it.
They do come with that, but it never works for me. Mine never pops up.
It's the only way I can cook them. Just look in there and see what's going on.
Yeah, mine's never pop up. Yes. So there's that program. There's also, on the heels of Thanksgiving, is our Adopt a Family program.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about that.
Kiwanis has been involved in.
Let's hold that for just a minute, because that's an exciting program and there's a lot going on with that. I want to get back to the meals that you can do. If a family doesn't have the means to cook this turkey, of course the turkey doesn't really do them any good, is there an option there for them? Is there something that either you know about or you're doing? So
we do refer a lot of our families who would actually like to attend a holiday meal to some of the holiday meal sites. St. Peter's Church is one that has a very large holiday meal. Lots of volunteers from their congregation.
Right.
We actually send some volunteers to them as well.
There's no reason to be alone on Thanksgiving, right? You can get somewhere.
So that is a great place
St. Peter's
that we
Church.
can refer our clients to. There's also weekly meals.
That must be the First Baptist Church one, right?
Yes. So actually every day in Beverly, which is another unique thing about Beverly, there is a free hot meal.
Nice.
So it rotates, and it's actually our parishes and congregations throughout the community. And every day, depending upon the day of the week, there's a different church that a individual or a family can attend, have a free hot meal, and spend some time with others that may be going through similar things, and again gets to that networking and kind of working with others.
Right. In fact, Kiwanis does one of those meals at the First Baptist Church,
which is where, for those of you who don't know, that is where our beginnings started.
What a piece of history. Look at that.
We were founded through the First Baptist Church.
Were you in the basement or in the back
basement
there? Because I know you had some room in the back as well at some point. But, so you're in the basement.
In the basement of the First Baptist Church. And for those that don't know, the quick story is that it was actually the church secretaries that were starting to experience people coming in off the street. It's a very easily accessible location, being right in downtown Beverly.
That's right.
People with needs started coming in and asking the church secretaries if they had any food, that they were hungry. So the women there at the time took it upon themselves to bring in food. They kept it under their desk. When they were going shopping every week for their families, they were buying some extras. Well, of course, quickly word of mouth spread, and one person was coming in, and then three people, and then so on and so on. So they went to the congregation and said, "There's a need out there.
Right.
We can no longer meet it the way we have been. What are we going to do?" And the church took it on and
they've been
put some
great
food
in the
shelves up.
community. Sure.
And that was the beginnings of Beverly Bootstraps.
What year was that?
1992.
1992, and that seems like yesterday.
It does. It does. And all these years later, we are very involved with them. They actually, their youth group is a very big part of the food drive that happens as the part of the holiday parade. That Sunday after Thanksgiving, there's a big food drive. Everyone who comes to the holiday parade, it's actually the First Baptist Church youth group that is walking down the street, collecting the cans,
they must
putting
get
them in
heavy
the
after a
carriage.
while. Yeah,
So,
I know. That's terrific. What a program. And just one of the leaders in the community, First Baptist Church, along with all the other nonprofits that are there. One of the, all the churches are doing a great job, because that dinner program you said does rotate.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. And by the way, Kiwanis does that Monday before Thanksgiving, and we do have turkey.
Oh,
so if you got nothing to do, and you want, a little pre-holiday turkey, little pre-turkey turkey.
Right.
Just in case the leftovers aren't what you want, we can do the pre-overs. Yeah, right.
Pre-overs, leftovers, have it all week long.
For anybody just tuning in, you're watching another edition of Kiwanis Conversations. My name is John Maihos for the Kiwanis Club of Beverly. And we have a little bit of information about Kiwanis, and I'd like to show you that right now, and we'll be back in just a minute.
I want to be a teacher. I keep changing my mind.
If you be a good person, you can still have freedom and enjoy life.
You want to treat the other people how you want to be treated. If you just be mean, it hurts their feelings. A skating board person that rides on a skating board.
You want to look up to someone who is a good role model. They could be your hero, your idol.
I want to be an astronaut.
At Kiwanis, we give kids the opportunities they need to reach their full potential.
I want to be a nice person who makes everyone smile. I think it's good to make people smile because it makes them happy.
Because the world can only meet its potential if kids do.
If we didn't have superheroes, our Earth would not be safe.
That's Kiwanis International, which, of course, the Kiwanis Club of Beverly is one of the local clubs in. There are clubs all over the United States and throughout the world, and certainly if you'd like to get involved in community service, you can do so. The Kiwanis Club of Beverly meets at the Acapulco's restaurant at lunchtime on the first and third Tuesdays of every month. And then we're meeting just this year. Our president has come up with a great idea. We're going to meet at Marino's, which is the coffee shop in the Cumming Center. And we're going to meet there on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 7:30 on the 2nd and 4th. So if that's too confusing, visit beverlykiwanis.org and find out how you can become a member. You can join us. That's true. This is Kiwanis Conversations, and today our guest is Heather Johnston from Beverly Bootstraps. We're having a great conversation about some of the services that are available through Beverly Bootstraps, and Beverly can be very proud of your activities, and I hope you're very proud, and your organization, all the volunteers and employees of Beverly Bootstraps, of what they're doing. So you mentioned volunteers in the first segment of the show, and some of the things that, some of the different types of programs that you have, but let's talk a little bit about those volunteers. What do they do? And if somebody wanted to volunteer, how would they get involved in Beverly Bootstraps?
So there are many different ways. I actually started as a volunteer. And a little insider secret, if you start as a volunteer, we really don't let go of you in some way, shape, or fashion. You're either a volunteer for life or you become on staff or some way. But there's many different ways. A volunteer can be someone sitting at the front desk answering the phone, greeting our clients, greeting our donors. It could be someone in the thrift shop helping you look for a certain item, going through the donation bags.
I love your thrift shop, by the way. It is really cool.
They do a great job.
Yeah.
It's a great shopping location, and you never know what you're going to find.
That's right, little treasures.
They could be volunteers in our adult education or our youth education program. You can find volunteers sitting down one-on-one with an adult who needs to learn ESOL or studying
ESOL now.
English speakers of other languages.
Okay, great.
Or our HiSET program, which for those of you that don't know, is the state's new version of the GED program.
Oh, so they changed the name.
They did change the name. Any of those programs, our youth after-school programs, all of the tutors are volunteers. So it could be in the food pantry, it could be stocking shelves, it could be handing out food to clients, it could be volunteers at the mobile market. Volunteers are handing out summer lunches during the summer lunch program in the summer. And then there's all sorts of special projects volunteers.
How many volunteers do you have?
On an annual basis, about 500.
500.
On a
oh my goodness.
monthly basis, about 200 come through our doors for their weekly shift. And they're dedicated. They come in and they'll spend their 2.5 hours on Wednesday at the front desk with us, or their 2 hours on a Thursday night in an education class with us. And they really bond with other volunteers and staff, and especially some of the clients.
It becomes a family type thing in a way, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Who coordinates the volunteers at
We have a great
Bootstraps?
volunteer coordinator, Leslie Colton. So if anyone's interested in volunteering, you can seek out information right on the website. There's an application
Right, I've seen
on
it,
the
right?
website.
You just click a button right on the
Just-
website.
We made it simple and easy. The information will go straight to Leslie, and then she'll be in touch and talk to you about what's a fit, schedule-wise, what you like to do. Some people love the thrift shop. It's very busy. It's very social. Some people love
There are good
to
deals
tutor.
there. What are you kidding?
Exactly. Some people like to sit down and really have that one-on-one or 1-to-3 tutoring role. And some people like the front desk. So there's a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, excellent. So the way to get to your website is
BeverlyBootstraps.org.
Okay,
Yep.
BeverlyBootstraps.org. I know I've been there. These days you can just type anything in the URL, in the
up we
address
pop.
bar there, and up you
Yes.
pop. So it's really kind of easy. It's easier than it was.
It definitely
that's
is.
good. But I bet you have a computer learning class. I bet you have some type of program like that.
What we have done is we've wrapped our computer training into every one of our adult education
No kidding,
programs.
yeah.
The HiSET, which is the new form of the GED, is a computer-based test now, which is different than how the GED was done. The GED was a paper-based test. So not only are our clients having to study for their exams
Gotta learn
and
to use
study
the
the
computer, too.
content, they may have to learn how to use the computer.
Right.
So computers are just so much part of our everyday life that it is
Everything.
wrapped into all of our programs now. We do have a college and career readiness program where we really work with them on what's next. If you've been through ESOL and you've been through HiSET, what could be next? Is it possible to go to North Shore
Obviously, the
Community
next
College?
next is to volunteer at Beverly
Yes,
Bootstraps.
well,
yeah, what were we
that's a
thinking,
great
right?
thing,
Right?
too.
What were we thinking?
We do want them to be sustainable, though.
Yeah, exactly. This is true. So in addition to receiving services as a new person coming into the community, and we talked about some of those ways, it's very easy. I bet there are resources right on the website if
Yes.
somebody wanted to learn more about
Absolutely.
Bootstraps. So if that person who just came into Beverly just happened to stumble upon BevCam and Kiwanis Conversations and this show,
They would be all set.
they would know
Go
exactly
to the website
what
and they
to
will
do.
know
They'd know
exactly
what to do. Now, can they also drop into the office?
They can. We do not have case managers always available to meet with them
They
on
can
a
make an
drop-in,
appointment,
but they
though,
can come
right?
in and talk to the front desk volunteer and have an appointment made
Right.
and then come back and meet with a case manager. If they're coming for the food pantry, they absolutely can come prior, on their first visit prior to the food pantry opening, and do a new pantry client registration. And then food pantry clients come once every 14 days.
Now, the food pantry is still on Cabot Street.
Correct.
And the thrift store is on Rantoul Street.
Correct.
But there's a change in the
There's a
winds,
change coming.
isn't there?
Yes, they are
Yeah.
going to be combining.
Wow.
So we have been, for those of you that don't know, actively looking for new space. We found that new space just about 2 years ago, next month. Took a while to figure out would it work, would it not work, to negotiate. And we've also been conducting a major capital campaign, the first ever for the organization.
Now, who's doing that?
Myself. I'm asking for money.
No, exactly.
That's why they may be really tired of me.
Right.
So we have had great community response.
I've seen the building started already.
Yes,
I can see some of the construction going on.
The construction started in June. The campaign is wrapping up by the end of the calendar year. We're still raising funds right now, but we've raised $3.2 million to date.
So if I don't give you money by the end of the year, you won't take it?
Oh, no, we take it anytime.
Okay.
It
just wanted to clarify that.
Might be putting it towards a different program, but we take money anytime.
Okay, so you're optimistic. You're going to have it fully funded by the end of this year.
Yes.
Well, that's a very ambitious goal. Good for you.
And we'll be moving in after the first of the year, maybe February, early March. You know, it's construction timelines. You never know what pops up, but they are, like you said, actively working. You can see physical changes to the building. The bump out that will house the elevator and the stairwell are in.
I thought you were just putting a tower in. I wasn't really sure. So that's an elevator.
It's actually a bump out for the vestibule that will house the elevator and a stairwell.
And that'll have nice, convenient parking in the back then as well. So you don't have to worry about parking on Rantoul Street, which sometimes can be a bit of a burden, and especially where there's going to be construction on the road coming up.
It will work out very well for the timing of that. When they get to that section of that road and it is closed off for the widening of the road, we will have the parking lot out back available and the elevator and stairway access to all 3 levels.
Good timing, huh?
And of course, our friend Ralph Bates and many, many other donors. But Ralph Bates is the one who named the building.
In the newspaper,
very generous individual. And I can't even tell you how many generous donors we have. Numerous rooms in the building have been named. We really could not do it without all of our donors who have made it possible.
That's so exciting. That's so exciting.
It is very exciting. It's an exciting time for Beverly Bootstraps, and it'll be a great new home where all the programs and services can be in one building. The thrift shop will remain the retail presence. That will be the entire first floor of
Will it get
Rantoul
larger,
Street.
or will it be pretty
much?
It will be. So you're going to expand.
It will be. The thrift shop will almost double in size.
Oh,
so
more deals.
More space, more inventory. So come on down.
Right.
The thrift shop will expand. We'll have the upper level will be the education suite where all of the classes will be held. We'll be able to offer some high school students programming and services that we have not been able to offer in the past.
Will it be kind of a high-tech classroom like they have today?
There will be a drop-in computer lab. Will be a part of that 3rd floor that will have all of the education programs in it for the purpose of someone coming in to job search, for them to practice just on the computer for their
high set. You've got to be able to do a resume. You've got to be able to respond to email inquiries for jobs.
Yes.
That's,
so
terrific.
that will be part of that.
Is there any thought of carving out room for community space? Or
so
how will that
there
work?
is going to be a community conference room. Institution for Savings through their Main Street Rockport Charitable Foundation actually has named that room.
Beautiful.
And it's going to be something we have to play with a little bit, see what our usage is like, but certainly it's going to be space that if we can, we will have community access. Right now, the Beverly Resource Group, which we're a big part of, they'll be meeting in there. The North Shore Volunteer Resource Group, North Shore Hunger Network, any of those groups that we are actively involved in as collaborators will be using that space. And if we can make it available to the community, we certainly will.
So let's talk about raising money, because obviously you're in the midst of a huge capital campaign, but that's going to go away, and there's an ongoing need, of course, for funds. So what are some of the other ways that you raise money in the community for Bootstraps?
So we have a number of different grants that we apply to. A number of corporations in the area, family foundations are very generous to support us. Certainly events. You're familiar with Best Chef that we have had in the past.
Yes, the company I work with sponsors that.
We are actually changing our event structure a little bit and still have some work to do on that, but we do have a new event to introduce in 2016.
Oh, can we hear about it today? Or?
We can.
Oh, Oh, tell us about it.
It was in the newsletter.
Is this exclusive? Is this the first time you're mentioning this on TV?
First time on TV.
Okay, very good.
So this is a John Maihos exclusive.
This is an event.
It is going to be a Boots and Banjos gala event.
Boots and Banjos?
Some Western fun, a gala type event, cocktails, dinner, an auction, and dancing. So a whole night of fun, all to benefit Beverly Bootstraps, and it'll be on Friday, April 8th.
Friday, April 8th. I'm going to tell my good friend from the Kiwanis Club of Danvers, Gayla Bartlett, and I'm going to tell her that this event was for her.
Well,
it's a Boots and Banjo Gala.
It
so,
is.
Yeah, that's it. It's for her.
Yep, then she should be there. So we do have numerous events. We are looking at hosting one in the fall of 2016, some sort of community-wide event. Certainly our annual appeal, which is just getting ready to go out, will be going out in November, and that is one of our largest direct mail appeals, asking people to renew their support of Beverly Bootstraps. Certainly some of the other programs that make a huge difference, our backpack program.
Right.
We raise money for, whether it's through in-kind donations. We have lots of companies in the area who
And it's easy to participate in
that.
these programs.
Absolutely.
You know, before we go, I wanted to mention that Adopt a Family program because it's so exciting. And I know that our company has participated in it. And if a company wanted to participate in that, which is basically adopting a family for the holiday season, so they were gifts under their tree.
Absolutely.
It's very terrific. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So to sign up, you can contact my office. You know, on the website, there's information on how to email me, or you can call the office at 978-927-1561.
That's on the website too,
And
right?
that's on the website too. And you can ask to speak to the Donor Relations Office, and we will work with you to sign you up. We're trying to encourage donors to sign up by the end of the month.
It's a great way for people to take and really connect.
And you get to connect. We will then
You
provide
don't know the family. That's important to know.
Right.
It's totally anonymous.
It's a confidential match, but you will have information about.
You get the gist of it.
You know, the ages
That's
of the
right.
kids and what they like and what their sizes are. So you and your family or you and your colleagues can go shopping and provide that holiday gift for them.
What a great way to end the show, too, about the Adopt a Family program. We've learned so much about Beverly Bootstraps today. I'm really pleased that you were able to spend some time with us on Kiwanis Conversations. So thank you very much again for being with me, Heather. And for those of you who are watching, make sure that you check out their website, which is beverlybootstraps.org. They're doing some wonderful things here in the community. Wrapping up, I want to remind you that the Kiwanis is an organization that's international, and our new president of Kiwanis International, her name is Sue Peterson. Sue Peterson is the first female president of any of the service organizations, so Kiwanis is first. And she's a wonderful person. She's a leader in her area of business, and we're very pleased and excited and lucky to have her as a leader of Kiwanis International. For Kiwanis Conversations, my name is John Maihos, and when people ask, what is Kiwanis? You can tell them. Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world, one child and one community at a time. We'll see you next time.
Catch your eye, and you come to realize one can make a difference. Reach out, stand out, find out what it's all about. See it all, stand tall, be there to catch them when they fall. Life is bigger than just one. But one can make a difference. Nothing changes quite as much as change, and the things we rearrange, trying to make a difference. Reach down, deep down, look at the sky of another town. Listen well, the wind will tell you something good is in the air. Oh, life is bigger than just one. Oh, but one can make a difference. as one, but one can make a difference.